Star Wars is back on the big screen for the first time in 7 whole years. The disappointment of The Rise of Skywalker and several Disney Plus shows later, we finally get The Mandalorian and Grogu. Was it worth all of the slop and in between that some of the good stuff? It was good. It was certainly an enjoyable watch. It's a very feel-good film for Star Wars. I think it's the most feel-good Star Wars film there is. It doesn't go about its issues. I went into the movie with very low expectations as per this video here, but actually, I would say the movie actually subverted my expectations a lot and actually exceeded them massively. I wasn't expecting the movie to actually be as good as it was, and I've tried to stay away from as many opinions of this as possible to have my own sort of take on this. Naturally, I've seen a couple, and one of the main ones I've seen is Hat Guy from the Escape podcast say that this is the best of the non-Skywalker saga movies that we've had feature length. It's better than Solo. I think it's a lot better than Solo. I don't think it's better than Rogue One. I love Rogue One, but Solo is definitely better than that. I think that personally. So what makes Mandalorian and Grogu a good movie? Well, let's just get that out of the way and then we'll talk about the negatives. It's very fun. It's a very fun movie. It's a very senseless movie. You can bring the kids to the movie. You can bring anyone that's not even seen Star Wars or cares about Star Wars to this film, and I think they'll have fun. It's just a fun movie. It's not really anything too serious. The plot is, the plot of the movie does have serious points, but it's not like a main line of the 9 where the plot's quite serious, like episode 3, for example. But it's a perfectly acceptable movie. This is Pedro Pascal's best Mando, in my opinion. I said in my video highlighting how worried I was for this film that I wanted to see Djarin do, some combat very similar to Jango Fett in the game Bounty Hunter. And I'm happy to say that he does. And I'm going to keep this spoiler free as possible. He does do that. Mando, in the first half of this movie, gets the amount of love he got in Season 1 and Season 2, where he would just throw straight hands. Mando was amazing first half of this movie. Grogu, I don't actually think Grogu's frustrating. I was very worried going into the film that they would oversaturate his screen time, which maybe you could argue they still do. But I don't think it's too bad. I never found him annoying, and I never felt like he actually ended up taking away from the plot personally. I think he served his purpose to the story extremely well, and alongside the Babu Frick people, I think they also served their purpose to the plot well, and I don't think they actually did anything to harm the story in any way. Embo's fantastic, but I want to get into my Embo situation in my negatives. Not that Embo is a negative at all. Embo was fantastic. Embo was a shining light of this movie, as was Rotta the Hutt. I saw that Rotta didn't speak Huttese due to Star Wars theory, and so there wasn't a surprise. I didn't mind it. I think it's weird, I must say, for someone that obviously grows up on Tatooine with Jabba, and then obviously how he gets to the fighting arena, we don't know. But for someone that doesn't speak Huttese, you can understand it, because we don't know how long he's been gone for, but it's 50-50. I think he should be speaking Huttese, but this isn't really a negative, realistically. Rotta the Hutt is fantastic. He serves the plot excellently. His dynamic with Grogu is fantastic as well. And let's be honest, I think him and Grogu are very similar in different ways, but for Rotta to come into Grogu's story at this point and see Grogu, I think is important. I think Rotta and him are very similar, obviously, like I mentioned, in different ways, but Rotta was also in some sense a foundling as well by Ahsoka and Anakin, and was taken from his family. So I think there's, some sympathy from Rotta to Grogu. But moving on from Rotta, the Hutts, the twins, I think they're fantastic as well. I don't have any issue. I love seeing the Hutts in Star Wars. It's been such a long time since we've had any Hutts in live action, so you know what? I'm all there for that. That's fantastic. Aside from the cinematography, fantastic. The sound design, the people that worked on the sound for this movie, incredible. And speaking of the sound, Ludwig Gunnarsson, or however you say his name, this score is phenomenal. This might be like top 5 Star Wars scores, I think. Now, there's a specific song, you'll know it when you hear it, when they go to meet Rotta for the first time, and it plays. It's up there. It's actually up there with John Williams. I'm telling you now, this score is to die for. I think it's a very good score. The Mandalorian theme on the big screen is also fantastic. It's a good score. If you have a problem with this score, I don't know what to tell you. You just... you're hating for the sake of hating if you don't like the score. Now for my negatives. The first thing I'm going to say, and I'm going to actually address my Embo point now. What I was going to say about Embo was Embo's fantastic. Embo is such a fantastic addition to a movie where they really needed him. Embo is... his scene... you'll know. Again, I'm not going to go into detail on it and spoil anything, but you will know. When he comes, you will know what I'm talking about here. The aura farming is crazy. You know, he comes in, and he is there to be a threat, and that's it. Without Embo, this movie has nothing. Without Embo, this movie is very flaccid, and it's very flat through its entirety. Because... again, this isn't even a spoiler. Like, you can see this coming. The Hutts aren't going to leave their, place. Like, the Hutts aren't going to go anywhere. So, Embo is the main villain of this movie. I don't think that's a spoiler. And he doesn't get that much exposure. Like, it's not anything crazy by any means. He's not, crazy screen time. But the scenes he gets are... the scenes he gets are fantastic. They really add to the movie, and without him, I don't know where I would actually rank this movie amongst other Star Wars films. But with him, I can safely say that due to just his presence, and I know again, people might argue that it's not a lot, but I think it does enough. Enough. I'm not saying it makes this movie a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, even 8. But it does enough to save the movie from having nothing. On to the next thing. I'm going to go into spoilers. It would have been a sick movie if we just had a bounty hunting story with Mando. Obviously, he's working for the New Republic. Obviously, he's got to track down the Empire. That's their job. But it would have been a sick movie if the Empire wasn't involved, that much. Because for the first, act, it is an Empire versus Rebels movie again. Which is safe. And that's one thing this movie is. It's safe, I think. I don't think it's very ambitious. I don't think it does anything crazy. It's very safe, and it's very fine. My next negative, and this is a negative I've seen online, and I do also agree with this. There are some periods of this movie where there is way too long without dialogue. There is 5-minute stretches where obviously Grogu doesn't speak and Mando doesn't speak. There are 5-minute stretches without any character interaction in this film. And you can feel it. I think it really affects the pacing. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it is definitely a standout negative. Mando doesn't speak a lot. Obviously, he does speak, he's the main character, but his dialogue isn't ridiculous. Grogu doesn't say anything, he just makes noises. The fricklings, as I call them, just say, one-liners.
Bad baby! No, it's crazy!
And then you've obviously got Zeb, who's kind of just here. It's not really a negative, but he kind of just exists in this movie, which is a bit of a shame. Other than that, that's the Mandalorian and Grogu. I don't have anything really horrible to say about it. It's not bad. It's definitely not fantastic. It's kind of in the mid-ground of Star Wars movies. It's, I would say, I'm just gonna do a complete what is it now? 11 film ranking for you, literally on the spot. Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi, Attack of the Clones, they're my bottom 3. Then I would say Solo. Then I would say Phantom Menace, because I think pacing issues are worse. Then I would say Mandalorian and Grogu. I would put it in and around, but just around Force Awakens territory. Because the movie is safe. The Force Awakens is, it's a very safe film. I don't think The Mandalorian and Grogu takes any ridiculous risks. And I think that's a good thing. I think it stays in its own confinements really well, and it works. It works for the film that it's trying to be. It's a very feel-good film, and if you want to go and watch just a movie without, without any real stakes, or you just want to have a little bit of a laugh, or you want a bit of a cutesy film, this is the film. It's very feel-good. Is that what you want in Star Wars? Probably not. It's probably not what you want to see. But it is a good Star Wars film. It is a leap up from our last two big screen Star Wars experiences. It is a leap up from Mandalorian Season 3. It is not a leap up in quality to the level of quality we should have as Star Wars fans. The writing in this movie is very flat. But I will say now that this movie is definitely one that you should watch if you like Star Wars. You will love Embo, you will love the Hutts, and you will love Mando. He has these Batman-like scenes at the start. It's amazing. I would give The Mandalorian and Grogu a very comfortable 7 out of 10. Nothing below, nothing above. Just it is a perfect 7 out of 10 movie. It isn't anything ridiculous, and it isn't bad enough to go below a 7. It's just there. It's perfectly fine where it is. It's a perfectly fine movie. It's not bad. It's not ridiculously good. It's just an alright film. Let me know what you guys think of The Mandalorian and Grogu, and like and subscribe for more film news and content. And without further ado, see you later.